is Kibbutz Gonen. This is day 3, Birthright trip. It is pretty cold, but we are waiting to get on the bus and head to Tel Dan and the Golan Heights.
Okay, this is it, guys. We're climbing up on the volcano of Mount Mental. We crossed the Golan Heights from west to east. It was a very long drive, right? It's a very large territory. Can you see the end of the Golan Heights right down there? To the left?
Awesome.
That's it. That's the width of the Golan Heights. And Mount Mental is actually about half a mile from the border to the east. The village underneath us right over here is called Merom Golan, which is actually a kibbutz.
Top of Golan Heights.
Oh no, I'm good. I was just waiting.
We are in a bunker from the Yom Kippur War.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely not. I'm like one of the guys that jump in this.
To the right, you'll be able to see a couple of ladies in the field over there. This is a traditional Druze dress. So, the thing is that they got in the radio a notice that within an hour the reserves are going to replace them. About 20 hours into the battle. And so they're continuing to fight that battle for another hour, and the reserves are not. These territories are Lebanese already. So you can see now the fence is at the edge of the slopes of the Hermon mountain, right there. Okay, that's as close as we can get to the Lebanese border.
It's a nature preserve in the state of Israel.
This is what the Jordan. Of junk or like metal. Okay, so התאהבתי בה.
התאהבתי בה.
חתיכה של פח.
חתיכה של פח.
חתיכה של פח. There's more.
The Israeli built fence on the border of where we believe the border is between Israel and Lebanon. And the Lebanese on this mountain just in front of us
Dove Mountain.
are claiming that the border should be on the other side of the mountain. That's the excuse that Hezbollah is using in order to attack Israel for the last 10 years. But I don't want to talk about that. Well, maybe I will show you one more thing. First of all, the valley in front of us is called Marja Ayun, the valley of the spring. And all of it is within Lebanon. And actually the town that you see over there is the border between Israel and Lebanon is cutting this village in the middle.
This is where the tribe of
And
Dan
it's big enough,
makes
and,
sacrifices.
the city is strong enough and there's a big enough
It's built
water
upon many
source
other
for a
cities.
tribe of Dan.
So that's why they call it
And we're
Tel
gonna see
Dan,
the
because
wall,
it's
we're gonna
built
see
upon
the
a
city
hill.
wall, and we're gonna see
Kiryat Shimona. In the little town of Eilim. It's all made up of volunteers who built it up. It's very poor, but they're volunteering their time to make it better. This is a playground and garden that all the volunteers at Eilim built and planted.
So we just using it for Jamboree. We also maintaining the whole place here. So that's two things we're doing. That's just shelter.
Katusha rocket landed here and they filled it in, fix it.
Shrapnel. Shred's good enough.
We're just leaving Kibbutz Gonen, beautiful lake. Just had a lot of rain recently. And lucky us, we are experiencing some of Israel's rare rain on our way to an ecological greenhouse where Israelis and Israeli Arabs work together.
Second group is people who really don't care, don't give a damn. It's Israel, Palestine. They're kind of exhausted from this whole situation, so they just stopped caring about what will happen. And third group is people who are kind of, I don't want to say extremists, but a bit extremists. They're very pro-Palestinians. They live here inside of Israel. They have an Israeli IDs, but they're kind of pro-Palestinian. So I'm here to represent the first group, people who are pro-Israel. I mean, we are people who have the minute that we were born, that we opened our eyes, everything around us is so very Israeli. The way that I grew up, and even though I'm an Arabian, I'm a Muslim, I respect all of these things. I am these things, but as well I'm Israeli.
The Avital greenhouse, it's like a different form of education. Started by a guy who was actually an artist, but it's turned into a very successful ecological center.
The hydroponic idea is that the plant doesn't need to work too hard to get what it needs. It gets what it needs from the water that flows in this tunnel. Poisoning itself, it's poisoning or polluting the water that it's swimming and living in. But the plants help it to evaporate.
Going for the cure. For the cure.
In Africa and actually all over the world, we'll have to find a way to use less fresh water for agriculture and more fresh water.
So they can actually make it rain here in the greenhouse to keep the water pure.
And this is it. Israel ends here, well, a little bit of international water, and that's it. That's the Mediterranean Sea. We're at the coastal plains, the northern coastal plains of Israel. We're driving on the coastal highway, which is road number 2. And we are going to stop here for lunch because you're hungry.
In Israel, a Nigo Montoya lounge from Princess Bride. Who would have thought? We're on our way to the Negev, and all this green land isn't green when there's no rain. It just dries up, and no trees can grow out here because we're so close to the desert. But because they've been having so much rain, it's all very green right now.
I'm clearly terrible at this game. I don't know why you feel this.
Marnie. Holy shitballs.
Go, Lonnie!
Did you take a picture?
Watch.
I never thought I would do this. I said I wouldn't do this.
I'm in. Look at me.
Yay!
I want to cry.
Yeah.
Look at you guys matched. You got a picture of these. That's really cool.
Our camel's kind of fat.
On a camel in the Negev desert.
Yes, the rope keeps getting on my leg.
Oh, aren't they?
Why are we on the rocking part?
Yes.
I think they do it about every
Yeah,
2
get
seconds.
us.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Let's go first.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Seriously?
Bedouin peeking.
Come here.
Come here, buddy.
What's your name?
Oh, this is our communal sleeping tent in the Bedouin village. Even though it's kind of cold outside, it's really warm in here. And it's actually held up by hollowed out palm tree trunks, which is really cool.
been doing that almost every day.
2 singers, 2 dancers, 1 drummer, and I want to play music.
Thank you. Masada, 6 in the morning. Gonna hike to the top. Sunrise at Masada. Looking down onto the Dead Sea. This is a water hole. They used to store water so they could survive up in Masada.
No, over here. Only the railing. That's it. That's what's left after the fortress was destroyed.
This is the king's private bath chamber at Masada.
Okay, so after you saw the entrance to the bath, right over here. It's such a ridiculous noise, though. Of different plants. And when I said that there is enough water in the water system for 3 years for 1,000 people, I didn't just mean drinking water, washing, drying, and
The Dead Sea. Ariel says it's not that warm.
It's not that warm either.
Arthur, what do you think?
Yeah, it's fucking cold.
This is Israeli chutzpah. We're proud to be Israeli.
Tunes, chicken tunes. Who you think is really kicking tunes? Like you ripped the few.
אתה לא בקצב.
Like you live the flute. Mystical, maybe. Who appears in you to clear your view when you're so